Hi there. And let's get to probably the biggest question that everyone has been asking about, and that is, how do I do this timeline? Okay. If you remember, you had this really long strip of receipt tape, and when we folded it all up, we made 12 different sections, and they are all equally spaced down your timeline. Okay. So I would get that paper out. I would also get out the paper that has all of these pictures on there of all the different species or organisms or things. Get that out as well. Okay, so let's go back to the textbook here. I'm on page 388, and if you don't remember how to get there virtually, you go to the portal, log in like you're going to go to Infinite Campus, but instead of going to Infinite Campus, you click on Science Fusion. Then you'll see a login space and a password space. The login is going to start with worth and then a slash. You continue your school login after that slash. And then under there, put your password like normal. Okay, click enter. Then it's like my library, things to do, and then you click the icon that has the open book. And boom, you're in. Okay. Now, this is page 388. If you go down to the bottom here, it even gives you, your book gives you a timeline on 388 and 389. Okay, on your receipt tape, you can kind of envision this purple and green section starting right here and going on to page 389 all the way to right here. Boop. You can consider that pretty much all of your timeline. You're going to reproduce that, except for one change. Your very first box on your timeline is not going to say Cambrian. It's going to say pre-Cambrian. Your era will go on top, and I'll talk about the era in a second. Don't even write this yet. What I want you to do, though, is you got 12 boxes. At the bottom of the first box, write in pre-Cambrian. The bottom of the next box, write in what you see here in the green. So you've got Cambrian, all right? So in your next box, Cambrian goes here. Okay? Then it says Ordovician. In your third box, write Ordovician. Okay? Then Silurian, then Devonian, then Carboniferous, then Permian. Okay, go on down. So by the time you're at the other end of your tape, the last time period, and that's there in green, the last time period you are writing down is Quaternary Period. So you've got, after the Permian, you've got Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous. Then you got Tertiary, and you've got Quaternary. So your last two boxes all the way down here are going to say Tertiary and then Quaternary. And Quaternary is the last period. And all these words, these green words here, are going on the bottom of the boxes, or the spaces that you've created by the folds that we made together. Okay. Now, I would do this in pencil. I'm doing this in Sharpie so you can see it through the webcam. I would do this in pencil, and the reason why is a part of this assignment is to color code all 4 of the eras. And here's the first era. You might be asking, well, how do I know what an era is? If these down here are time periods, what are the eras? Well, the eras are right above the writing in green. It's those purple areas. Okay? I do not like how it does that. Okay, come on, stick with me. You know how I told you the first box is going to say Precambrian era up at the top? So the Precambrian era was everything before life happened. Okay? So Precambrian era goes here. Now, the next era we are going to write down is Paleozoic era, because right here is where the Precambrian stops and where the Cambrian time period begins. Here's where life starts, at least as far as we can tell, based on the evidence available. Okay, life starts about here. Boom. Now things happen. Okay, so your next box down here, it says Cambrian. and then Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous, and Permian. Across all 6 of those boxes, though, all 6, space out that Paleozoic era. So across all Cambrian, Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous, Permian, you should be writing Paleozoic Era across the top. Okay. Now, and that should go all the way. That should take you from Cambrian to Permian. Don't write Paleozoic Era 6 times. Write it once. Start it here and go all the way through to the end of the Permian. Paleozoic Era. Okay. Now, where the Paleozoic Era ends, which is right here, then you get into the Mesozoic Era. Thank you. And the Mesozoic Era includes 3 time periods: your Triassic, your Jurassic, and your Cretaceous. So right here, where you've written Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous, across the top you're going to write Mesozoic Era. Okay, in pencil. And then the last bits here, there's only one more era, and that's the Cenozoic Era. Now the Cenozoic Era only has 2 spaces, 2 time periods. The Tertiary and the Quaternary, right down here. Tertiary and Quaternary both go under the Cenozoic Era. So right about here, you're going to write Cenozoic Era, and that's going to go right in the 2 boxes. This one says Tertiary, and this one says Quaternary. Okay. So by the time you're done, you're going to have 12 time periods written at the bottom of your tape. And you're going to have 4 eras written across the top of your tape in pencil. Why? Because you're going to color code each era. So you pick 4 colors: red, blue, green, yellow, whatever. Purple, pink, purple. That's for you, Landon. Okay. Whatever. Pick a color, and then write Precambrian era, Precambrian in that one color, because that's going to represent our first era. Then all the letters for Paleozoic era, all those letters and the periods in that era are a different color. The Mesozoic era, your Triassic, Jurassic, all this right here, that's going to be written in a 3rd color. And then your Cenozoic era is going to be written in a 4th color. Okay? Don't color the boxes. Leave those the way they are. You're just using a different color to write the letters for every era. So 4 eras, 4 different colors. Now, you have words across the top, you have words across the bottom. What's going to go in the middle? Okay, well, these. You're going to research sailback dinosaurs. Okay? Throw it into Google. Okay? What you're trying to find is which time period these different organisms or items first appeared in the rock record. Okay? First appear in that timeline. Right? Now, some of these are very specific, like the dinosaur extinction. That's very specific. It might even tell you exactly how many million years ago that happened. Now you might be asking, wait a minute, if it gives me some number in millions of years, how am I going to know where that fell? We'll take a look. If something says, this thing happened 225 million years ago, well, that's what these numbers, these blue numbers down here mean. Millions of years ago. This is 2.6. That little dot represents this very second right now. You go back in time 2.6 million years, boom, that's when this occurred. You want to go back 65 million years ago, boom, that's a separation point right here. We go from one era to the next. If something happened 225 million years ago, you want to go back here, and it happened probably about this point in the Triassic period, between 199.6 and 251 million years ago. So if your research brings up a number of years and millions of years, go to 388, 389 and look at your blue numbers, and you can write down, oh, well, if it said 225 million years ago, then 225 is between these 2 numbers, So that must have occurred in the Triassic. So you'll cut out, and by the way, that's not the answer to dinosaur extinction. Go find the dinosaur extinction. Cut out the picture and the label, and then go back to your receipt tape and tape it where that thing first appears in the rock record. Okay? That's how you do it. It's easy. It's fun. You get to work with colors. Some of your time periods won't have any pictures at all. Others of your time periods might have 2 or 3 pictures in that little space. Okay? You might have to get creative in taping some of those in there so that they're at least part of each picture is visible. Okay? I think the most that you're going to put in one section is probably 3 pictures. But the sections aren't very big, so, be creative. As long as I can see a part of each picture, I'm fine. Okay? On the back, put your name. And I think that's about it. So if you have any questions, email me, whatever, let me know. And, we'll get through this together. So I think I'll have another video tomorrow about the fossil articles, because I'm getting some questions about those, the fossil article and the fossil questions. Which reminds me, last thing I'm going to say, and then we'll end it for now. You got to do this timeline first. You got to do this receipt tape first. And then when you're looking at it completed, that's when you start doing your timeline conclusion questions. Okay, because you can't have a conclusion until you've finished, your exercise. You got to finish this first. Once it's done, then look at that page of questions, the timeline conclusion questions, and refer to your timeline to help you answer those questions. You can also refer to page 388 and page 389 to help you as well on those timeline conclusion questions. Okay, that's it. If you have questions, reach out. Okay, I miss you all. Go have fun in geologic time.